do you remember like what happened on that day? Like what led to the wreck? Do you remember that exactly, or do you have an
Yeah.
idea of it, or
Yeah, I mean, I was going up to Flagstaff, Arizona to ride in an advertisement shoot.
so this is in Fort Tut Hill, right? In
Yeah,
Flagstaff.
yeah. Fort Tut Hill was the third. What's crazy was the third decision of where I was gonna ride. I was either gonna ride up Meteor Ride in the hills. I was gonna pedal around downtown and just mob downtown. But then Fort Tut Hill was on my way up into Flagstaff, so it's like, hey, let's stop there. I know I'll be able to make it on time if I just go ride Fort Tut Hill. I hadn't been there before, but I knew of it, knew it was like a semi-quality park. Um, and that's where we ended up at least.
So then, when you got there, like, what was your idea? You were just gonna go hit some jumps, or were you
Yeah,
like, you know what, I'm gonna unlock a couple things today, or what?
honestly, I'd been jumping really good down here.
In
Everything,
Hawes.
everything big at Hawes, yeah. And I'd never been to Fort Tut Hill, so it was like, hey, let's just explore. I was jazzed up for the day, gonna go film and ride, and been riding good recently. Came off the race season of last year, and the vibes were high. Rode a couple of the features at Fort Tut Hill, and then I saw the pro line of the jumps, and honestly, they looked pretty good. I did the drops at the beginning, and things were just feeling good. And I think I was just a little too amped up to be riding. There were people around. I was by myself though. I think it was just like the whole day just really had a lot of positive energy, and it started to like impact my decision making of what I needed to do. So
So then the wreck, the biggest part, the biggest life changing situation. What exactly happened? Like, what was the wreck, and what was aftermath with the injuries?
crazy thing, didn't get knocked out at all. And
Wild.
you'll see the injuries either before this or after this, but didn't get knocked out. So I remember everything leading up to it. So I'd done a couple smaller jumps in Fort Tut Hill, like the medium line, and then ended up going to the pro line. Um, what was crazy is I greased the first jump. It was perfect. I was like, all right, this is good. And I had my suspension locked out.
And we're talking about some big jumps.
Yeah, they're big.
They're big. They're tall.
If you've ridden the step up at the end of your ovaries and Hawes, or the double on the far right side at the NRA pit, they kind of got lips like that. I had my suspension locked out, just a little bit more jump in performance. Cleared the first one totally fine, and come up on the second one, and it was just like an instant. As soon as I went off the lip, I was like, that didn't feel right, and I overshot it. Overshot the jump. I say by a lot. Felt like a lot in the moment. Could have been however much, but it was pitched a
So
little.
we're talking about a landing that's basically almost 90 degrees to the ground.
Yeah.
So you have to land on it.
Yeah, the landing's here. It comes out like this quick. If you're landing here, it's not good. So I was a little bit pitched forward, a little bit past the landing, and basically I'm a little forward. I kick my bike out from behind me because I don't want to land on the bike, all this. And then I just pancake on the ground.
Face first.
It was like,
Did you have your hands out in front of you?
no, it was kind of like this.
Okay. It was just too
Because
quick.
I kicked my bike and it kind of made my body like Superman a
Yeah.
little bit without the hands in front. And then I kind of went like chest face.
Okay.
I was riding using my race enduro helmet, which is a detachable chin bar. It's not rated for gravity, which is a certain speed rating. The chin bar broke, and I just felt my face just crunch against the ground. And crazy, I didn't get knocked out. And
So what was your thought right when you hit the ground? Like,
oh,
what were you thinking? Like, oh shit, I
Truly-
fucked up, or what was it?
I felt like I fucked up. Right, like it's like I knew I didn't feel like I fucked up. I knew I was fucked up when I went off the lip. The first thing I felt, no joke, was guilt for my wife and 4-week-old kid. That was
Yeah, first
that's where
thoughts.
things got really heavy. Disclaimer: it's graphic, but I lifted my head up off the ground, and it just was like blood, like a shower head.
Oh man.
Like,
So like when you lifted your head up, did you think like, oh man, this might be way worse than what I could ever imagine, or were you like, oh, this is okay, but this is kind of wild?
it was guilt for what I was doing, because just like all of a sudden I feel like I've potentially thrown my life away. Second was just fight or flight. I don't think I really thought about if it's good or bad, like if I'm gonna be okay or not be okay. It was just like, how am I gonna stay okay for the next 30 seconds? Like, it was like second by second thoughts.
Oh wow.
Two guys rolled up on me in about 15 seconds. I was fumbling for my phone to call 911 for myself, because I could still see. I was definitely like flashbanged. It was every second felt like
Ear ring and everything.
yeah, but I was fumbling for 911, and these two guys that were around, they rolled up on me about 15, 20 seconds. And at that point, like, I kind of relaxed, because I knew that they were going to handle it. And it was kind of like what's going to happen is going to happen. I've, done the best for myself for the last
You're out
15 seconds.
You're out of pocket now.
Dude,
you can't do nothing.
Man, it felt like I was there for hours, a lifetime, just bleeding on the ground.
All right, hospital. So what was the situation in the hospital like?
Real quick, we powered through an EMT trip in the ambulance. I was able to talk through a triple broken jaw. Yeah. Jaw broken. Was able to give them all my information to the EMTs, and how cool Maddie is. Gotta give her some credit. Yeah. All right. We'll do this. We're almost done. Love you. Bye.
All right. So after the wreck, you're obviously riding out here with a whole group.
6 months later, a whole group trying to ride smooth. I mean, 3-4 years of good riding, it's not going to go away. It's nice to be out here. Fitness is good.
So I mean, what's some of the challenges? Because I know me and you had some of these conversations outside of the camera. What are some of the challenges that you had to get through to want to even ride stuff? Because you got to slow down. You're not as fast as you were, right?
One, fitness. Like, MTB is a tough physical sport. Losing my fitness like overnight, and the tightness in my body, like healing. If you don't like get over that hurdle, you're not gonna do anything. Psychologically, was the recovery in the hospital like the gnarliest thing I've ever did. That week of recovering was like 2 months long of not really sure what you're gonna be like at all afterward.
What do you mean? So like, well, you didn't know how your face was gonna end up, or you didn't know?
End up like mental. I didn't have a concussion, which was crazy. No neck damage, but just the psychological factor of, dude, crashing, being awake, seeing the blood, the damage, seeing the damage afterward. Insert some clips.
So maybe the imagination,
your imagination of what can happen. That's like, this sport is insane and awesome, but like what can happen is one of the worst things ever. Because like potentially just left the earth. Drop in, I was intubated, so I was put on a ventilator because my nose was broken, and they had to patch that up, and then they had to wire my jaw shut. So immediately upon entry, I was on a ventilator. Wouldn't have been able to survive without it. So it's like that close to dying. A tracheotomy scar. So had a breathing tube put in because everything was shut on my face. So like the severity of it was the worst, besides being like paralyzed in terms of like chance for death. The severity of it after the crash, didn't know how bad it was right at the beginning, but upon admittance to the hospital, put on a ventilator because my nose was shattered, and they had to, I could have aspirated on the blood.
What does that mean?
Choke on your own blood, basically. For a couple days.
That's how much you were bleeding out of your mouth.
That was the case. So I was put on a ventilator, had a breathing tube, and then, so I was like, could have died. Didn't have like emergency services, dead, which is, surgery, when they fixed my face, they put the tracheotomy in, so had a breathing tube, couldn't breathe through my mouth or nose. So like waking up with that, your whole body doesn't know what's going on basically. So it's like severity of the crash, getting to that point, riding and all that. It can happen.
But you're out here on the bike though,
Oh yeah.
and you're on a full face helmet, I noticed,
Yeah.
constantly. So what's up with the full face?
I have a lot of plates, screws in my face. The bones are not what they would be. If anything were to break, at this point, it would be extremely catastrophic. So
Okay.
never give anybody any shit for riding a full face no matter what trail, because you never know what the situation's like. But this thing is 24/7, dude. I'd wear this thing on my road bike.
It's lighter than my helmet without the face thing on, so
Oh yeah.
it's definitely good.
Crash warranty for Liat, you know, giving me some money for the second lid, which is, I should have had this one the first time, but you know, I'm glad we have it now. And we can ride again.
So healing wise, how has that process been from, we'll say, the day of the hospital to now? And which has been how long?
We're out.
Almost 7 months.
7
now.
months.
Yeah, 6 months until I rode. Healing wise, just, it was long. Had a wired jaw for almost 2 months, so I had to blend all my food. The face felt weird. A lot of nerve stuff. Felt weird for a while. And even though I didn't have any neck or head damage that scan showed, my upper body was still extremely stiff. I mean, you slammed and then you're in the hospital for 2 weeks, so it was gnarly there. Mentally that's the biggest recovery, honestly. Fitness was fine after about 3 months, 4 months. Cardio not so much because you just can't do much. But yeah, mentally today, wrapping up the ride, timid, especially because talking about it, and but there's a lot of stuff that stayed with me. There's a lot of stuff that is like I'm rethinking as I'm riding. So it's cool. Get to ride again and learn again, but almost dying, especially on doing something you love. Like, that's tough. It gives you respect for what it is. I'd say a ton of respect for the sport, but you gotta, you don't want to get in a car wreck, and if you drive every day, there's a chance that'll happen. But
Car wrecks are way more deadly.
car wrecks are super deadly. Also, yeah, the helmets, big thing. Wear your helmets. Ride within your limits. I would say I was a little bit of a fluke accident, but could have had better decision making. And then just, yeah, you gotta respect the people around you too. I gotta give a shout out to the people around me, because I can't imagine going through the ICU and the recovery without support. Dude, this guy behind the camera too, it's like just talking about progression and working within your means, and listening to the people and like understanding the people that love you to not hurt yourself, as well as support you to do the things you do. So like take that into consideration too, other people's feelings in and around a wreck like this. But can't beat, oh man, gracious to be able to do the same exact sport with no serious repercussions physically.
So if you had some advice that you're going to give somebody, who hasn't wrecked,
Yeah.
what would you say to look out for? Like, what are you on now? What would you say to them?
Always ride within your means. So it's like, riding in a big group of people, especially people that are really good, don't let that persuade you to do stuff out of your comfort zone. You have an entire life to ride bikes. The one great thing about riding bikes is the longevity you can have doing it. Low impact, good cardio. You can do it into your 60s. And there's no point in riding outside of your limits at the time, because it's a lifelong sport and you can shred for a long time. Just be smarter. The bike is capable. You just need to make sure your capability lines up with what you're doing. And it's like, if you ride out here in Arizona, it's chunky, it's loose. If you ride to be smooth, efficient, brake how you're supposed to, and don't go nuts, you're gonna get fast. You're gonna get fast if you jump within your progression level, go out, hit the same jump 20 times, 30 times, then move on. Because then you're gonna be confident going into anything. And then you can use your confidence to gauge if you should do it. If you're practiced on confidence and riding within your means, you'll have a perfect scale when you walk up to a feature. Say like, I know I can do that because I can see it happening exactly like this. Sweet, do it. If you can't connect those dots and say like, I'm not too sure about this section here, just don't do it. Wait until it always clicks, and if you always ride that way, you'll continue to progress, and you won't have a big slam that takes you out like this, or potentially risks more.
For anybody that's wrecked, you've wrecked and you're out here riding. I mean, you're big dog riding out here. We've been at Haas for a couple of hours putting in work on some black diamonds and everything. So
shredding some good stuff.
what would you say to somebody that's wrecked? Maybe they're timid, they don't want to ride no more or something. Or maybe they do ride and they don't want to ever push it again. What would you say?
I would say give yourself, if you remember the happiness that you had doing it, I would remember that, and you can start over. Like, I'd say even today, talking about the wreck made me more timid riding. I slowed way down. But it's like, all the techniques and all the skills you've developed over the years of your riding, whether that be a month or 5 years, you can use that to get better with the knowledge of how to do it better than you did it the first time, if that makes sense. So take the opportunity, like right now, I'm taking the opportunity. I'm going to ride to not crash for years and progress without crashing. And it's like,
so it'd be a new skill, kind of.
New skill. The new skill is not crashing, riding extremely smooth, picking lines good, not being afraid to just like take it down to 70% when you need to. Because ultimately, if I do that, ride 3 years without crashing, I'm not going to be faster, smoother. Some trail guys are feeling the same thing. Yeah, that's the best I can give you.